Victims were adults and a mixture of Hispanic and Asian descent. 7 males and 1 female. Only known connection between the victims and the suspect is that they may have been co-workers. The coroner's office is still working on identification of the victims and notifications of next of kin. As some of these victims were members of our migrant community, this represents a unique challenge when it comes to notifications and identifications of next of kin. All of the evidence we have points to this being the instance of workplace violence. The Mounted Mushroom Farm, the first location, is where the subject was employed. I'd like to hand it off to now our District Attorney, Steve Wagstaff.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning, I'm Steve Wagstaff. I'm the District Attorney. And the case, my job now is to inform you where the case will go. The Sheriff's Office is submitting the case to us today. We will review it. The arraignment will not be this afternoon, as was first put out. It will be tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 here in this building, courtroom 4A, the custody courtroom. The charges have not yet been determined because until we review all of the information, we will make that decision later today or tomorrow morning. And again, the charges obviously involve the homicides involved, as the sheriff just said. I want to make a specific reference to the fact that I have been briefed on the Sheriff's Office investigation of this case. And cases like this, we've never had one in this county of this many deaths at one scene or one time. And so it was a very hectic scene. The Sheriff's Office did a magnificent job investigating this case. I'm very proud to have the Sheriff's Office as our colleagues and Sheriff Corpus as my colleague. The work was done extraordinarily well. But again, in terms of precise detail, we're not going to be giving out a lot of precise detail on what was said. This is a case that is at the beginning stage. It has a long road to travel over the coming months and years. And to that extent, we don't want to try it out in the public eye, but instead, we will ultimately handle this case in one of the courtrooms in that building. So now I'll turn it back for any questions that may exist for us.
Good morning. My name is Eamon Allen. I'm the Sheriff's PIO, and I'll take any questions now.
2 questions over here. One, I couldn't quite hear, did you say purchased illegally or legally?
It was a legally purchased firearm and owned.
And the second question, do you have evidence that the suspect was targeting these specific individuals?
We're not releasing that information at this time.
What kind of gun?
It was a semi-automatic handgun. As far as make and model, we're not releasing that.
Can you describe the circumstances under which he was taken into custody or surrendered to you?
So he did not actively surrender to us. He was located in his vehicle in the parking lot of the Half Moon Bay substation. One of our deputies located the vehicle there and recognized it from the information we had from the scene. At that point, he started giving the subject commands. The subject was still seated in the vehicle. The subject exited the vehicle and was taken into custody without incident.
Did you identify him prior to
We did. We had the suspect information as well as suspect vehicle information.
So he's cooperating with the investigation and given the information. Can you tell us anything about a motive for this incident?
All the evidence we have right now points to a workplace violence incident.
Workplace violence.
Yes.
What was he upset about?
We're not releasing that information this time.
What else can you tell us about victims? Anything else that we can share about victims?
So we're still working on, with the coroner's office, on notifications of the victims' families. So we're not releasing specific identifying information of the victims. But like the sheriff said, they were all adults, 7 males, 1 female, and a mixture of Asian and Hispanic victims.
Can you tell how many Latinos and how many Asians?
I'm sorry, I don't have that specific information at this time.
Were all of the victims specifically targeted, or was it seem like a random?
Again, we're not releasing that information at this time.
the female among the dead, or is she the one in the hospital?
I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
Can you tell us if, you know, I'm thinking about his background, anything that would have given you any kind of information that he would actually do this? Is he any prior convictions or anything targeted in the past?
So as far as his criminal history, we're not releasing that information. I will say that there were no specific indicators that would have led us to believe that he was capable of something like this, and he was not known to us or to have any sort of, again, indicators that may have led us to believe that this was something he might have done. We're not releasing any information as related to his status like that. I don't have the specifics of that for that. We're not releasing that information at this time. I'm sorry? We don't have any information that they were witnesses to the incident. We know these farms, there is a mixture of folks who work there as well as reside there. And we do know that there were some children in the vicinity, but as far as being specific witnesses to it, we don't have that information.
Did the suspect live on the farm as well?
I'm sorry, I don't have that information.
The mayor of Half Moon Bay said in an interview this morning that a lot of these farm workers experience a lot of stress, anxiety, work conditions, living conditions. Do you know what role, if any, that might have played?
As far as what led to this specific incident, I don't have any information like that. I will say that the coast has experienced its share of challenges over the last few weeks, specifically as it relates to all the incredible weather we've had. There's been flooding, there's been people out of work. So the coast has certainly had its share of challenges recently, and this just adds to that stress.
Have you been able to do a search for this home at all? Have you found any other weapons?
I'm sorry, we're not releasing that information right now. So I'll take maybe a couple more questions. I don't have that information for you right now, I'm sorry. Last one? All right, thank you very much. Sheriff, do you have anything to add?
As we gain more developments, we will be apprising you of the information. Again, I just wanted to give my condolences to the victims, the families, the coworkers, and the coastal community who is suffering gravely. And we'll be working together as a county to heal. Thank you.